There we go. Yeah, for some reason it went to a different mic. I don't know. I have no idea why it went to this other mic that I have, but now we're good. Of course, OBS screwed me up this morning, but that's okay. But I'm glad you guys are able to hear. Let me enable this up here for now, so that way you guys can all see each other. Hopefully, you guys can see the chat here. Uh, let's see. There we go. Oh, it's all the way up there. There we go. Give me a second, guys. And it seems that I can't get the... That's funny. Oh, well, we'll continue on with the conversation here. So anyway, yes, now we have audio at least. So anyway, what I wanted to say is hopefully you guys had a great week so far. We are finally headed to the weekend. Thank you for resubscribing. I truly appreciate it.
808 just subscribed. Nice, it's been 3 months.
Awesome. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Once again, Ernesto, I certainly do appreciate it. And Simply Takuma, I know Wasabi, I'm sure Ernesto, everybody's getting into Forza Horizon 6. Of course, it seemed that it even got a perfect score on IGN. Of course, there has been some negativity pushed down. Thanks for Takuma mentioning. To me, on Steam, it seems that there was some negative input by users who played the game, but mostly it seems that it's been positive. And for anybody that has an AMD card that's been playing Horizon 6, they said that it's actually worked really well for them, that the game actually loads up well. Wasabi says, no, I ain't paying $120 for early access. I get it. I can completely get it. You can wait like a week. Now this Steam review is 85% better. It better be. It definitely should be a lot better than what they put it at. That's just terrible. I can't believe that they gave it such a negative score. There we go. Now we got it up. Let me put that up here, guys, so you can see. But usually on the members only stream and the Twitch stream, it'll usually go through this type of chat until once we go fully live, which will be in about probably like another 10 minutes or so. So you didn't get it either? Okay. I know there's a few people who got it. I know for sure Sweeney ended up picking it up. I think Sweeney got the $120 package. There's quite a few people that actually went with it. Some people didn't mind paying the extra money, but again, that kind of brings up the whole topic of would you be willing to spend more on games as long as if the quality is there? Especially get the early access, you get the bonus content, bonus tracks, and everything that you do end up getting the game for. So next Sunday we should absolutely, that would be a very interesting and be a fun stream to do. Especially if we go on to Horizon 6. I think that would be great. Just everybody get on the line, play some Horizon 6 next week. Had to use the extra money to buy new. Hey, sometimes the real car is more important. That real car is the one that's getting you everywhere, so I get it. Brakes and rotors could be expensive now. What type of car do you have to change out the brakes and rotors for? I can do next week. Sounds good. I think most of us could plan it out a bit better that way. Especially for us next weekend for those in the US. I know Ernesto, for sure we can do it because we got Memorial Day weekend coming up, which is awesome. Simply Takuma says, but still a lot of people are complaining about the game crashing out or don't start. I play it yesterday and I had no problems at all. Not to mention it takes a long time to restart in some occasions. Honda CRV. Oh, that's an awesome car. CRVs are great cars to have. And to add to that, Takuma, I know AMD has some kind of like an exclusivity thing going on with AMD because of the advanced shaders. And so Microsoft actually includes it, I guess from what I'm understanding from the updates of Windows, so that way it already has the shaders pretty much compiled for those AMD GPUs. So if you have an AMD GPU and you have Forza Horizon 6, it actually will load faster, believe it or not, than a NVIDIA card. And that is one advantage. Of course, for us, we have to pre-compile the shaders. before we can actually get into the game. But of course, that only happens when the game first starts or when it is updating. So, but usually after the first load, you're pretty much clear to go, and more than likely you'll be loading up really quick then. Have you guys tried? So I have to ask Takuma this then. Have you got to try the online mode with Forza? So Killa says I have a Xbox Series X, but I think it's better to play on my PC 5080. Absolutely. Yeah, there's nothing. That's where I'm going to be playing on. I'm going to play it directly on my PC. It's even out on PlayStation 5, which is pretty wild. As you know, Forza is that exclusive Microsoft title, but now you can also play it on PlayStation. So, well, after the shader compiling and optimizing the game. Oh, yeah, yeah, of course. That's normal. That's just something, that's just an addition for anybody out there that has an AMD card that does want to take full advantage of that. They have that small, like one of those advantages that can certainly help out for those who are on the AMD side. And you know, it's quite interesting. AMD has announced FSR 4.1 even for the RX 6000 series, but unfortunately that's not going to happen until the next year. I know the timeline really sucks for anybody out there that does want the update for the RX 6000 series. It's coming out very soon, I think in July for the 7000 series, so that'll certainly be an advantage for them. So Takuma says I changed from online to single player mode. I only go online. Yeah, because I can't say, and I haven't played it. For anybody that has played Forza online, I could remember how it was. And the last time I played Forza, honestly, was quite a while ago. The last time I played Forza was Motorsport 5, I believe it was. I played Forza Motorsport 5, and the online community was just like toxic. Like when you take off on the line, it just seems that instead of everyone just like kind of like launching and like focusing on like trying to get ahead on the race, everyone will try to spin out your wheels first. So Wasabi says, add some clean racing back in Forza Horizon 3. That's awesome. That's what I miss. I miss the clean racing. But when you play with the online players where they play dirty, where they try to spin you out so that way you're like way behind, and they team up on you. Like everyone kind of teams up on a car until it's like down to like the bottom. What is it? Like the not really the bottom, but like the top 3 or 4 guys that'll end up like truly racing, and everybody back there is like pretty much spun out and like has to try to continue on the course. But and you know how racing is like as soon as that happens to you, as soon as you spin out and you want to continue the race and you see these guys are like about like 25-30 seconds ahead, you know the race is gone then, and it just takes away the fun out the game then. So I know that can be quite frustrating, especially on a online experience. But I am really curious to see how Forza Horizon 6 is going to be. I'm really excited to definitely give it a shot. Life is a race, and we all are. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Uh, but I'm glad that Takuma was just raving about it. He was just raving about how Horizon 6 is. In fact, I'll share it with you guys because he says it is he describes it really well on how this game is. And of course, if you guys are on the Discord, I know most of you are. If you see what he says about the game here, which, and I had to kick somebody out that was like trying to do like this whole crypto scam. So be really careful out there. Don't fall for any, crypto wallet stuff. I think I probably don't have to tell you guys that, but if anybody comes in here and asks about crypto, we're trying to say like that they need help with their wallet, don't do it. So he says, so I asked practically, is it entertaining? Does it make it feel like you're in Japan? And he said yes. And they nailed it pretty good. And the big bag of Japan is the biomes and very versatile like Japan in real life. Lots of street exploring and every corner this something to see or hear, and like the entire map is scattered with mascots of each biome. You know what's really cool too? I noticed that in the game, I noticed with the game that you can actually race against Gundam. which is pretty dope. I saw that. Like somebody was like it was already doing that. Hey Chris, you need to play Space Marines too. It's insanely good. Yeah, you know, I gotta give it a shot. I'm waiting for the Steam Summer Sale. I know the Steam Summer Sale is going to come up soon. Usually I think it falls like within. Let me see. I gotta look it up. I think last year it fell right after Memorial Day, but I'll double check it and see when it is. But unless there's a great deal on it, I'll definitely we get definitely take a look at that. There's quite a few games that I do want to end up trying out when it comes to PC, of course. I still haven't played Desert Crimson, which I do have. I heard great things about it. I don't know if you guys got to experience Desert Crimson just quite yet. I hear it's the type of game where you need to be able to play just like a few hours on end at least. Like if you want to play Desert Crimson, you have to enjoy it for like a decent 6 to 7 hours. You can't just sit through and just play like a half-hour session, an hour session there. You got to be like really immersed in that game, from what I heard when it comes to Desert Crimson. So, Wasabi says once I am done Space Marine 2, I will be streaming that once. You should. Absolutely, you should. I think you would do. I think you would do great. I'm sure you probably have all your profiles pretty much set for streams, such as your Twitch and your YouTube. Make sure to link everything that you can. Especially if you have the speed, take advantage of all the different platforms. For me, I'm kind of limited. I would love to stream on many more platforms, but I know unfortunately that's not going to be a realistic take with the type of bandwidth that I currently am on. So Takuma says my settings now is DLSS on, DLSS quality DLAA on, frame gen auto. Oh wow, ray tracing extreme. Uh, I have so many games. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I know I'm gonna get more games, especially when this whole Steam sale ends up coming up. And it's going to be just so much backlog. I got games that I go through my library like, oh yeah, I have that game. I can't believe I haven't touched it. And I know many of you who own Steam are going through that same issue. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and open up the stream to everybody and make this out in public here. Let me go back here. Go back to the live studio and let's welcome everybody in with open arms here. There we go. What's up, everybody? So now I could turn this thing off. I know it's not the best chat overlay that they have, but now we can actually turn on the real one, which will be nice. There we go. And we are live with everybody else coming in. And let me get that wonderful social ninja up so I can throw some polls. And for everyone that's coming in, I have to say, so far for the Threadripper build, for the person who had brought up the idea, we raised $25 so far. What's up, Havy? Great to see you. There we go. Beautiful. Now we got this up. And pretty soon we can throw up some of our polls here. Let me see. Let me get that up so that way we can get that ready to go. All right, there we go. Now we are live here. And Nellis, yes, thank you for waking up. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy. I tried to make it good for everybody here so that way everybody can be able to meet up and talk. And for anybody that's just coming in, if you don't want to see the vertical side, of course, you can go and switch over to the horizontal side, which is on YouTube. Now, the indicator on the title, you'll see a phone for the vertical view, and horizontal view will have a flame on there. So you want to go to the flame if you want to go to the full screen mode where it's horizontal. So we were just talking about Ryzen 6. The excitement around it seems to be very real. I saw some really dope coverage on the game, such as like Racing Gundam. I saw how the streets look. It looks amazing. So I had to ask Takuma how the game performed and how were the expectations from the from Forza Horizon 6, and so far I hear a lot of positive news. So anybody out there that has Forza Horizon 6, feel free to let me know how you feel about the game, and especially for you guys who do have it on a AMD Radeon RX, any RX series card, I would love to hear from you because apparently Forza Horizon 6 has pre-compiled shaders or advanced shaders in the game to make it so that way you can be able to load a lot quicker compared to having an NVIDIA card. Of course, we can definitely put that to the test. We do have a 9070 XT that we could load it up to, and we can compare it to even up to a 5090 if you guys are curious about that in a bit. And let me fill you in, guys, too. Waffle Skater, man, you're killing it. You got 25 stream streak. Congratulations! I gotta highlight that, man. That's a great move by you. If and I gotta say, we will compare the two just to get a decent idea. And for the next weekend, especially for these subscribers on Sunday, we are planning to do a car meet, and no, not a physical car meet. We are going to go on for Forza Horizon 6 and have a car meet on there. And I believe the game ends up releasing. Correct me if I'm wrong, Takuma, or anybody out there that knows the exact release date for Forza Horizon 6. I believe it is fully released on the 19th. I would like to say. I think it's the 19th, if I'm not mistaken, but that is when the game is released. Hopefully, everybody on the wonderful stream will be there. So, speaking of which, for anybody that is curious about the whole hardware issues or hardware pricing, is it truly, as you came in to see the title, you're probably wondering, is it truly a bad time to build a PC? Of course, you can definitely put your input on that, especially for anybody that is trying to build a PC at the current state. Now, we do have Computex that is coming up within the 3 weeks. I started getting all the invites for going to Computex. Certainly am honored with the wonderful invites of going, but unfortunately will not be able to go this year. As you know, I do have a dog that is getting older. We do want to spend a bit more time with them, and plus the flights. Just out of curiosity, I went to go take a look at the flights, which I'll share with you guys. I went to take a look at the flights for to get over to Taipei. And unbelievably, it was expensive. It was highly expensive. Let me just check something, you guys here. Let me see. Very weird. Okay, all right, perfect. I think now it's working good. Okay, anyway, but the flights, I gotta show you, it's just insanely expensive. If I were to look for a flight over from Miami to Taipei, and if I were to take off like for this week here, and then I came back on I don't know, Monday, which is a week after Computex, the flights are for a connecting flight, 1691 is probably the cheapest that I can find. But again, it's definitely a lot more expensive than what it originally was, especially looking earlier this year. So if I did end up going, I definitely know I got to book way earlier, of course. And usually every year I go to Taiwan, but of course it's a special year. We just want to spend a little bit more time with Jonah here in order for him to enjoy his senior years. But luckily, yeah, he's doing really well. Jonah is healthy, so we don't have to worry about him, at least for now. So going back onto the topic of when it comes to building a PC at today's climate, especially if you guys are really concerned about pricing, definitely the best way to go is going with these wonderful bundles. Micro Center, if you have one near you, the best bundles that you can get are the AMD Ryzen bundles, which are the 7800 X3Ds. You can get a $400 bundle, or you can even get a $600 bundle. They come with a motherboard and, of course, RAM. You want to aim for the bundles that contain the RAM because obviously they're going to be the ones that are more expensive. Now, of course, if you buy the RAM separately, it's still quite expensive. If you take a look here, when you go to the PC parts, You go over to the RAM side. Unfortunately, there is no type of telling on how the RAM is currently, because $454 now, so it slightly has pushed up some for the RAM side. $454 now if you were to get a RAM kit. Now the cheaper ones are going to be about $200, which is the 16 gigabyte RAM kits, which is only one stick of RAM. So unfortunately, it seems that the RAM pricing has slightly gone up a bit for those who are trying to be able to purchase some RAM. So I am curious here. Is there just double checking the chat here. Is the chat working properly? Let me load up this chat here. I'm just double checking, guys, and seeing what is going on. Is the chat okay? Yeah, so it looks like the chat is off. I apologize for that. I was like wondering, where is everybody? Okay, there we go. I apologize for that, guys. I see the chat moving, and I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't look right. Let me try to reconnect. Oh man, I gotta tell you, like, there's nonstop issues today, like when it comes to OBS. There we go. I think we're better now. I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay. Last week, the last part of the overlay that you guys got to see was that. Okay, let me go back here. I'm sorry I missed you guys for chatting here. Let me see. I am Charizard. What's up, Charizard? I'm sorry I missed you. That the chat's acting really weird. Are you interested in? I've heard about Subnautica 2. I definitely would love to take a look at it. Um, let's see. Computex, yes, absolutely. Compu AI Tex. I wish Microsoft would pay Bandai and Gunplay for some rights for a real Gundam RX-78. That would be awesome. It'd be dope. Me and my family had decided we are not going to go to Japan. Wow, that's a long time, Takuma. You know what's funny? Me and my wife, we were just actually talking about going to Japan within probably the next year or so. Because, of course, when we go, we always have a great time. But, ironically, when I was thinking of it, I was thinking just about the pricing of everything and how expensive everything truly has gotten. And it's insane when you think about it, because I was thinking, man, Japan actually, like when I compare it to the pricing, it is here in the US, and then I compare from Taiwan to Japan, I'm like, in some ways, I feel like Taiwan's really expensive compared to Japan. And then Japan has sometimes the better deals on certain things. Not on everything, but it just seems like sometimes some things are more expensive in Taiwan than it is in Japan, and sometimes it's vice versa. So, uh, Tacoma, yes, May 19th. Okay, I knew it was one point. I'm just catching up on the chat, guys. So, RAM prices have gone up again. Yes, it's nasty, right, Waffle Skater? It's disgusting. Nobody wants to see RAM pricing go up again. So, if anybody here definitely has any questions when it comes to PC builds, certainly feel free to ask. Um, Certainly feel free to ask. We will do our best to help you out. Of course, for everybody out there that isn't anywhere close to a micro center, I certainly get it. There's only like probably a total of 19 or maybe 18 to 19. I'm just being really generous to micro center because that's actually quite a bit. I would be really nice to say 20, because it would be nice to have 20 of them at least. But that is throughout the whole US. I know not everybody has a micro center near them, but this is going to be the best way to build a PC if you are close to a micro center. So if I spilled a water on the CPU, it would still work. Not really. As if it's not on. If it is not on. I heard Stream Elements is waiting for. Oh, okay, okay. I don't use Stream Elements. I use something else. I use what's called Stream Ninjas. Stream Ninja is what I use, but it does connect to the Stream Element bot, so maybe that's not helping. And I did notice, like when Ernesto did subscribe onto Twitch, It just didn't do the animation. So I do see that side of it. I can see it acting up on that end. So Kilobyte says, I go there every other paycheck. It's hard not to. It's a wonderful place. It's like a playground for everybody here. The point is, we don't want to pay near $3,000 of tickets to fly to Japan, and you are uncertain if you can ever arrive. Oh, wait a minute. I apologize to my wonderful Twitch people here. There we go. Now you guys are connected onto the overlay too. Man, everything's just quite acting up this morning. Just work. I just want everything to work this morning. Everybody, I do have the Steam controller. I've been busy, and that's not it. I have a Nintendo Switch Pro controller right here on sitting on the desk, but actually I was sitting it next to the Steam controller. If you guys are curious on how they look compared to each other, I had quite a few, and even myself felt the same way. If you actually grip the two of these, they kind of feel pretty similar. This is of course the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, and right down here is the actual Steam controller. So the new Steam controller, it's pretty good, I gotta say so far. That's going to be what is coming up soon. Soon to be released for the members. I'm just doing some finishing touches, so make sure to stay tuned. Uh, yeah, absolutely. It's a war right now. It is an absolute war right now. Um, and I gotta say, grip wise, it kind of feels similar, but I gotta say, the Steam controller is quite interesting. It's definitely meant for PC gamers, and I'm meaning that in a good way, especially for those who like to go into settings and adjust. This isn't going to be your typical type of controller to where you can just pretty much plug and play. Now, I know some people may not like that. The Steam controller is certainly meant for those who like to modify and consistently modify in order for it to be exactly how you like it. Definitely a PC gamer's controller, I can say. But I'll definitely get in much more detail in a bit about it. So, for anybody that's coming in, of course, if you don't have a Micro Center near you, I know all of us don't. And here's again the pricing for the flights. It's just insane. Like, if I click it, you know what I heard? I haven't tried it yet though, and I gotta try this online. Has anybody, uh, has anybody went to a different VPN? Right? Uh, if you go to a different VPN and then you book the flights from a different VPN, especially if you're in certain areas, in more poor areas, that you're able to book the flights at a much cheaper rate. How true is it? Has anybody actually tried it? Because I find that to be very interesting. Uh, so, my computer got flooded with water, so I can save yeah. Man, if you did that, congratulations. That's not an easy feat to do. Consider yourself to be a very lucky Red Fox. Certainly be very lucky. I mean, as long as if it properly dries out and it wasn't on, then there's no way for it to short. The power supply, I'm pretty sure you had to swap out though, at the minimum. So Wasabi says, I knew flights booked at a certain hour, like Monday before 12 p.m. are cheaper. Takuma says I wouldn't try it. Oh man, okay. I get it. Let's go into Newegg, guys. We're gonna go into Newegg, and I'll show you the better deals. Now, for anybody that's stressed about building PC, honestly, don't, because we've actually built a full-out PC that is still under $1,000 and still performs better than a PS5 Pro. So it's still very manageable, and a $1,000 PC is about what you're going to spend on something like a PS5 Pro. You're going to, because the PS5 Pro is $850, but you also, if you plan to stand it up, vertically, you have to buy the vertical mount for that PS5, which is like $20 or $30. And then if you want the disc tray, it's another $70. So realistically, with PlayStation Network, you're going to spend already $1,000 compared to where you have a PC where you can do you'll be more than capable to just not only game, but you'll be able to do anything you truly want. It's really hard to switch from PC gaming back to console, and any PC gamer will certainly tell you that. So, wait, Newegg has tickets to sell? Nah, I wish they did. I certainly wish they did. It would be awesome if I could somehow get tickets from Newegg, that would be great. Soon, RAM will come with free. I like that idea, Nellis. I do love that. So that would be great. That's how much. That just shows you how expensive RAM has gotten. I mean, if you take a look at their deals here, one of the better deals, and I shared it with everybody a bit earlier this week on Wednesday. Hopefully, it's still going on. You could actually get a CX750 power supply along with the purchase of this processor. But it seems like actually their deals are gone for that. Their better deals are going to be the combos down here. Unfortunately, it was ticked off down here, and this is sold by Platinum Micro, so this isn't even from Micro Center. So and that's the trick when it comes to Micro Center. If you are shopping on Micro Center, don't forget to hit the sold by Newegg. That's very important. Make sure to hit sold by Newegg and then go into AMD, and then from here they still have it. Okay, so here it is. This is exactly what I'm talking about here. Um, Imagine you buy a RTX 5090 in New York, you get a ticket from Micro Center. I know. Wouldn't that be pretty insane? Like you get a free flight if you buy some RAM. At this point, they might as well throw it into one of the great deals. Pretty soon, you're gonna start hearing that they're gonna have cruises along with if you purchase some RAM, well, along with your PC. Can you imagine you get a nice Bahama cruise or Caribbean cruise, or you can cruise on Norwegian cruises. So anyway, going back to the processor here, they do have the 9800X3D, and it's $440, but it does come with a power supply, which is a nice addition. If you take a look at it, it comes with the Corsair CX750M. So you get a 750 watt power supply with this processor if you choose to. Now, I think I still have it. I'll post it to you guys for those who are interested in getting it. Now, if you do plan on getting this processor and planning to use the power supply that is with this processor, I do have to say, make sure that you don't have anything over like a 5070 Ti, because then you're going to run into issues when it comes to actually using it. You don't want to short the processor when you do have this combination. The more proper combination, if you do plan to use this 750 watt power supply, is to also combine it with something like a 9070 XT. It's a great GPU to go with. It's definitely it's in fact it's doing so good, this GPU. They have an advantage even in Forza Horizon 6. When you first start up, you'll be able to load up the game near immediate speeds, and this is thanks to Microsoft implementation when it comes to their advanced shaders. Now, let me go here and let me share the link with you guys that are looking for that 9800X3D. I got you, fam. There we go. So this is it. Make sure you go into the Newegg link if this is the one that you are looking for. So the price on the Ryzen 9950X3D2 fell rapidly in price. In Switzerland, now it's 750 compared to its 880. Wow, that's a large drop. Believe it or not, here it has not dropped at all for the 9950X3D. Still a very expensive CPU, still at $900, but we could check Micro Center to double reference it just to see if they have it for a deal, which I don't think they dropped it down either. Let's see. Yeah, still that $900. So a lot of people not happy with spending $900 on a CPU like this. So, Ground Game says, how much would it cost to exchange a 9800X3D sealed with receipt from Micro Center for the past 30 for, oh, if it's sealed already, more than likely you'll be good to go. You'll be perfectly fine to go into Micro Center, hand in the 9800X3D, and they'll be able to swap it out and be able to and whatever you owe left on it, which is probably going to be, it's not going to be much. I think it's like only like a $30 difference now at this point. Let me double check the pricing here. The 9800X3D, I know it was on sale for a little bit. Yeah, $420. But how much did you purchase it for anyway? The 9800 XTD, because they'll refund you your purchase price, not the rate if that it's currently at. So original MSRP. Oh wow. So you could probably end up actually walking out with a 9850 X3D and also get a little discount on it. If you paid, because I remember when I first bought the 9800 X3D, it cost $474 roughly. I have a stream on it. I think when it, no, I don't. I don't have a stream on it. But I do remember it was around that price range. I think it was like $474 when I purchased the X3D. And but if you purchase around that price point, you'll definitely, they'll let you swap it out and you'll get some credit back, which will be nice. So those, yes, so the time limit's 30 days, like when it comes to Micro Center, as long as if it's at 30 days, you're allowed to be able to swap it out. The only difference is if it's a like something like a motherboard from Micro Center, it just cannot be opened. And certain motherboards, as you know, it's hard to tell because like Gigabyte motherboards are never sealed. The only motherboards I think that are truly sealed are Asus's. Are Lian Li wireless streamers easy? Yes. They're really easy to install. All it is really is you just plug it in, just like a regular cable, and then you'll have the extra accessory, like the extra ARGB that you can plug it into. For example, if you have like the Lian Li power supply with the hub, you can plug it into that. Or if you have another Lian Li hub, you could plug it into that as well. Or you could just even plug it into the motherboard as well, I believe. So, but it's sealed. Oh, you're way past 30 days. Um, okay, so if you're way past 30 days, I would still, this is all preferential depending on which Micro Center you purchased at. Because if you purchased it, because this is going to be pretty much up to the store then. It's going to be up to the manager. If he takes it back, then he'll probably just give you a straight trade, maybe for the 9850 X3D, and take back your 9800 X3D. But that's probably it. You might not get any, of course, store credits. He might give you store credit if you're lucky, but they got to be willing to work with you. Or some might just completely flat out refuse you. But I can say Micro Center is really good when it comes to their customer service. Anybody can tell you if you go to a Micro Center and you went to go purchase any of their items that they never truly give you any trouble. Now, again, when it comes to motherboards, it's a different story. We all understand the reasons why they could question motherboards because somebody could easily have installed a processor wrong into the motherboard. Like, for example, like they bought one of those Best Buy kits, and I'm sure all of you certainly remember it. Or if you don't remember it, Best Buy was offering to a 14900K with a LGA 1851 motherboard. So if you did some sort of combination like that, of course, Micro Center is justified to kind of question the return. To see, of course, they can check it out themselves because, again, certain motherboard packaging isn't always sealed. So, but if you are planning to purchase a PC now, the best way to do it is going to have to, unfortunately, be bundles. And all of us can tell you that if you buy everything more separate, it's much more expensive. And I'll show you the perfect example. If we go to take a look at some AMD bundles here, and you look at this bundle here, this is how you know pricing has went up. They used to have deals where they had a $400 bundle or even a $300 bundle where they actually offered one stick of RAM at the minimum. And unfortunately, it's not there anymore. It seems that it has swapped. Pricing has obviously went up. And for those who don't know, man, I should really update my title, speaking of which, because I do want to throw this out there, and fair warning for everybody out there that is planning to get a RTX 5090. Because the reason being is because Nvidia did announce that they are planning to do a price hike. I don't know if I would let you guys just know that just quite yet. I did announce it on X about this price hike. I think about roughly about 2 days ago that they are going to push the price up about like roughly $200 to $300. I think, in fact, I think Amir has actually brought it up. Amir actually posted up an article based on it, in fact, but it is going to go $200 or $300 up for anybody that is planning to get the RTX 5090. I'm not sure if the price hikes took place just quite yet, but let's find out. So you go to the GPUs here. Let's take a look at the RTX 5000 series. Now it's because now if you're wondering why did they push up the pricing, it's because RAM pricing has gone drastically up. This is because of G7 that is inside of video cards, and this is what has caused the intrinsic value to go up once again when it comes to the GPUs. Now the 5090s, okay, so far I'm seeing some positive light here. I'm seeing positivity, which is this. Let me show you what I mean. Like I just look at this. This is, I know, more the short form factor one, but this is the Gigabyte RTX 5090, which is 3300, which is actually decent. I hate to say that it's decent, but that's going to go up. So, excuse me. So is this Asus RTX 5090. The Astral is definitely going to go up. So Khan says bundling gets you at least a free component, or absolutely. And that's why I truly stress on everybody that is planning to build a PC, bundle with something. You're going to practically get like a free motherboard or something with it. Of course, some people are sketched out about it because they are giving you a component that they technically are just trying to get rid of or have old stock of, but it doesn't matter. That gives you a backup component and something goes. Like if you have an extra motherboard, so what? It doesn't matter. Or maybe you'll build another PC sometime soon. So, Gun, Gungo, Gug, Alami. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Gug Alami. I got the 5090 FE for 3,500 euros. The rest of the build without peripherals bought me up to 5,000 euros in total. Not bad, considering that in 2017, I built two PCs with two 1080 Ti's, Asus ROG Strix. They cost roughly about the same, like the 4.5 euros, 4.5k euros for one build. And then Simply Takuma says, buy a bundle with a CPU, mainboard, RAM, buy a 2 terabyte SSD, then a good case with fans already installed, then a good PSU with NVIDIA RTX 5070 Ti or AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT. Agreed. I do like that combination there. And then one says I got lucky and I bought pre-built 7 months ago, and the parts are worth more than. Yeah, it's wild. I gotta say, for most people out there who built their PC prior to, I'd say, November of 2025, has likely seen a increase in pricing when it comes to their PCs. It's quite insane to say that, but it is true. The pricing of those PCs has gone up quite a bit. In fact, I even questioned, I actually brought this up, in fact, that I have two PCs. If I were to put them out onto the market, that the AMD 9950 X3D2 build is actually more than the actual Intel 270K plus build with the 5070 Ti, which is really weird. It's only about like maybe a $50 to $100 more, but it just shows you how odd the pricing the pricing is when it comes to PC components. So, going back to the RTX 5000 series, we want to take a look at the RTX 5090 specifically because this is the card that has gone up quite a bit here. Now, let's see. Let's go down here and we're going to select specifically the 5090s. Um, I don't think we're going to see the effect just quite yet, but it is coming soon. This is to forewarn everybody because we don't see it in the Astro or anything just quite yet. So the cheapest card that you can get is this one. This one's honestly not a bad deal. It's expensive. $3,300 was probably like the more regular price that you can purchase a GPU for. It's insane. So one says insane stuff. My friend who is an engineer bought 128 gigabytes of DDR5 ECC RAM in December for 600. Now it is $4,500. It's like holding on to some sort of precious metal. It's like holding on to gold. It's like it's better. It's like holding on to anything like that. So Joho says, should I buy a GTX 1050 Ti? Heaviest game I play is GTA. Go ahead, you can, but just to forewarn anybody that is planning to get a GTX card, just know that there is no more updates on it. They stopped support on those cards about last year, I think it was. So don't expect any updates. But they do still, you still can obviously use them. There won't be any issues if you do use them for something like GTA 5. If you do try to play newer games, that might kind of bug out on you. But other than that, yes, it's still playable. If you only play GTA 5, yes, it still can be manageable. So, but Chris, you forgot you can downgrade the. Yes, I thought about that too. When the Intel build is maybe cheaper, but you might build a whole PC with a new. Yes, yes. Oh, just to remind everybody out there, we are working on a goal, and I will put it up there. I think it is hilarious that this is happening. But what we are trying to do is we are working on trying to get a a full Threadripper build. So far, we got $25 raised for it, and we only got 6,900 and nearly $6,975 to go. So we are working on it. So I'll put it as long as the show, so you can feel free. We raised $25 for the Threadripper build. Who's in? So I'm going to post that goal up, and feel free to be part of it. So buying a pre-built PC before November 2025 is like buying Apple or Google stock on the first day. I agree. Definitely is. I think the 5090 builds are actually worth it considering this period. They are super expensive, but they are actually, yeah. And you know, if you don't like investing in stocks, maybe just invest in components, to be honest. And honestly, you don't even have to build with it. You can just actually keep it in the box brand new, and that will actually carry value. Especially if you can imagine the same mistake that's happened if you're a part of it. That when the RTX 5090 originally released, many people sold their RTX 4090s because they thought they could get the most of it. Obviously, they felt that they could get the most of their RTX 4090 back of December of 2025. I mean, what was it? 24 now? Yeah, 24. Or November 2024, people were just selling their RTX 4090 cards. And it turns out that instead, they lost their value on the card. They lost nearly like $800 worth of value by selling it that early because the 5090 was pretty tough to get. And then people just wanted to purchase the 4090. And it's still a hot item even today. It's still worth a lot of money. If you look up the used value for a RTX 4090, it doesn't make sense. It costs just as much or even more compared to when you purchased it at MSRP. Z-Man, what's up? Great to see you, brother. Great to see you in here. Yes, probably released in 2028. I'm really curious to see if NVIDIA is going to kind of bring out the 6000 series. I do not believe a super series will end up releasing anytime soon. Reason being is I believe that the super series is going to not exist anymore. And the reason being is because the super series was there to kind of be like the reiteration of what we already have, just with more VRAM. But at the current rate with VRAM, we don't have that extra supply. It's not as easy, it's not as accessible, and it wouldn't make sense, and the pricing would be too hard to match. So I think that Super Series, I'm about like 90% sure it's gone. But we can expect a 6000 series, whatever that NVIDIA likes to call the new series of GPUs. So, Khan says $4,000 can get you a decent used car or truck, new GPU. Yes, that's what I mean. It's just insane. So, Gug says it's still worth a lot of money because it's still the second best GPU in the world after the 5090, and usually the 4090s, just like the 5090s, are massively bought by Chinese to double the VRAM. In fact, I remember somebody actually came in here and they were just talking about their 3090. And the 3090 Ti, as you all remembered, it's like almost like a forgotten card. But that card actually still holds a ton of value. And that's because of the VRAM that it currently holds on to. It's insane. It doesn't make sense. But that is one of the main reasons why that card is still valuable. If you look up the value of an RTX 3090 Ti, you would be shocked. So if you look at, and even when you compare the prices of the 5090 now these are today's prices. This is how much the 5090 is now. So it's around $3,900, $4,000. Now this is how it's been for the last few months. This is not anything new. This has not increased. These are the same exact prices that we've seen since January of 2026, roughly. Now, what you can expect from NVIDIA, because they have announced the increase of raising up the prices when it comes to RAM, expect it to go, not RAM, because of the pricing when it goes to their GPUs. They are planning to push up their pricing for their GPUs, especially the RTX 5090, up between $200 to $300. So expect another $200 to $300 bill on top of it. So I considered selling my 4090, but when the 5090 was hard to obtain, I scratched that idea. Glad I did. I'm holding on to this 4090. I got to tell you, the 4090 was an incredible card. I really love that card, and I still think about the day when I ended up pretty much getting rid of the 4090 because that person that has it now, I am sure he is very happy with it. I've loved everything about it. The temperatures were great. It performed really well. When I first got the 5090, and most people can certainly tell you, when you get the 5090 card, it was originally really buggy, especially for the first 6-7 months. It took 6 or 7 months for them to iron out all the bugs out of the 5090 for it to work truly properly. And that not just the 5090, but just the 5000 series. But now it certainly has improved since then. But I am really curious to see how NVIDIA will what they will do for the upcoming future, especially of how expensive that G7 RAM is going to be, or VRAM. So, and let me see here. So feel free to ask any questions that you guys do have about PC building. We will certainly answer it. So don't be shy. Feel free to ask any of the questions that you do have. I know it can be intimidating. I know the pricing in 2026 isn't the prettiest. So let me know if you have any questions about building a PC, or if you're thinking of any type of upgrades. Feel free to ask, because I would love to hear what you think of PC building, especially now. So, let me see, just posting this now. Give me a second, guys. Perfect. So I can let me bring this up here. The RTX 3090 Ti are good cards. The RTX 3090, yeah, I agree. They're the ones that definitely face the wrath of everything here. James says, "Do you have any experience with Zotac? Can you copy SSD to another app?" Clarify your question again, one. Do you have any experience with Zotac gaming solid overclock RTX 5070 Ti? I had it with the 5070. The Ti, no. Or the Asus Prime overclock. Which version is better? Now, if you were to pick between the two, if you were to pick between Zotac and Asus, Honestly, I would always usually go for more Asus. I feel Asus would have the more decent GPU to go with. Usually, their GPUs are pretty decent. I do got to say, Zotac cards are very good. They're phenomenal cards. The good thing about them is they're decent cards, but of course, if you're concerned a bit more of coil wine, they both kind of have it for both Asus and Zotac. So, but either direction you can go with. But I personally, for me, I would go more with the Asus side. So, Gug says there are a lot of people who are doing these big mistakes by buying super expensive high-end motherboards like 64 gigabytes of RAM for gaming, but they're getting about a 5080 instead of a 5090 and reduce. Yes, this is a very common thing. Now, when the problem is when you do end up purchasing a motherboard, make sure you buy the requirements you need. You do not need to purchase and overkill your PC because instead you're just wasting good money that can end up getting you a nice OLED display. Really think about that. You can get a really nice headset, like a real decent one. So don't spend unnecessary money if you don't have to. If you're not trying to game at 4K 240 hertz, there's no absolute reason to purchase like a 5090. I'm saying for the 5090, you really need to take advantage of it. For most people out there, the golden standard card would be the 5070 Ti or the 9070 XT, and it's not nearly as expensive. So, um, let's see. Let me switch over here, guys. Okay, major question. I have a 5090 gigabyte with RGB. Whenever I turn on the PC and after startup, the lights go off. How do I make it where they stay on? Now, usually that's more hardware related. Usually the lights on your gigabyte card, they usually will stay off if you put them to sleep. Now, there's no need for them to turn on while they're sleeping. And there's unless you're using like another type of software, you're using OpenRGB or something like Signal RGB, there can be adjustments there that you can possibly do it. But this is going to fall under hardware lighting, and that is what will default and turn on when you turn on your PC practically. So I have a Zotac Solid 5080 and the 5060 Ti. I mostly game in HD and find that the 5060 Ti is sufficient. It's quiet in half of the games, and half the game fans do not even kick in. So the 5080 is loud and hot. And that's the thing about that card. A lot of people don't realize it. That 5080 will require a bit more wattage when using it. It will require a bit better of a power supply. A 5060 Ti doesn't require as much. And I don't believe all the 5060 Ti's also require the 12 volt high power port there. So I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Probably going for the Asus Prime. Yes, when you get it, please let us know. Post it on Discord. Would love to check it out with you. And I would love to see how it comes out. That's definitely going to be quite the upgrade for you. So, nope, turn off dynamic lighting. A lot of people are kind of mixed about RGBs. And, I got a great question for everybody out here. I'm going to throw up a question. I'm going to throw up a poll. I'm going to ask you guys because I know there's quite a few people that are against this. And I know one specific person in here definitely doesn't like it. And I don't have to call him out on it. I know he knows who doesn't like RGBs here. So I'm going to ask, do you enjoy RGBs? That's going to be the question. Yes or no? You're just going to put in the poll 1 or 2. That is how you vote. So feel free. Do you enjoy RGBs? Just put 1 or 2. Rugal, what's going on? Great to see you. It's a new Windows feature. That's a dynamic lighting. Yes, they do have it. JH, call me. I always end up catching you at work. Press Windows key, type win. Yes, more than likely it's on. Usually it'll default onto especially on Logitech for some reason. So I'm curious to see where this is going to go. Especially it's 2026. Some people can be completely tired of it. Some people might love it. It all depends. I knew this. Didn't I tell you I knew this one? I remember the notes. So Zotac Salad cards are the mid-tier cards like Asus with Prime, MSI with gaming series. Then you also have high-end cards like Zotac, Amp Extreme, Asus, Astral, MSI. Yes, pretty much, exactly. Takuma puts one. You like both? Okay, nothing wrong with that. RGB means more performance. Not a fan. Some people may not like it. Some people may feel like it's too much unnecessary lighting. So should I choose a RTX 5060 8 GB or a RTX 3060 12 GB? So if you're going to pick between the two, it all depends on the type of resolution that you are gaming in. If you share a little bit more information, I'm assuming that you're gaming in 1080. If you're gaming in 1080, the 5060 is fine. Honestly, the 3060 would be the better choice. The reason being is because you actually have the better VRAM, and the 3060 is actually a 3060. The 5060 is more like technically like a kind of a downgrade of what it was. uh, you may laugh at it, but the crazy thing is, guys, when it comes to those cards here, when it comes to that 3060, uh, um, Nvidia wants to bring back the 3070s. So just imagine, just the 3070 would be probably the best card, but they want to bring back the 3070s because of the supply. So I bought a 1440p monitor of LG, which is curved. Okay, if that's the case, honestly, what's the refresh rate on it? What's the type of refresh rate? So too much light makes my head hurt. No thanks until we can vet a RGB that can turn black. The funny thing is we're pretty much almost there. We as long as it can't be ARGB, it's got to have, I think it's ARGB BW if I'm not mistaken, where it has the extra lighting where you can do black and pure white. But we're not too far from there. The 6800 XT bought 2020 Best Buy since Vega 64 existed. you know? Oh, okay. So it's 144 hertz. Okay, so for 144 hertz, then the best option, honestly, for 1440p, I would say you have to go at least a 4070. Go 4070. Go with a RTX 4070. You'll be a lot happier. At the minimum, go RTX 3070 Ti, but you need a little bit more of the extra VRAM in there, because you won't be able to play at that 444 hertz unless you're willing to sacrifice some of your textures and some of your looks in the game, so to say. So I told one of my friend yesterday, do not replace your 6-year-old computer. You will not get a less computer than you have at $2,000 cost. He paid $600 for his 1080 Ti and AMD. Oh wow. Isn't that crazy to think that that sounds so cheap now? You're so used to hearing a PC cost at the minimal, at the triple digit numbers. My budget is cooked. It sounds like it. This all you have to do is do this. Save a little bit of extra money. Just have a little more patience. It'll be worth it. What's your prediction for the recommended specs? That's a good question there. That's a really good question there. Uh, you know, how about this? We're gonna ask the chat this because I think that's a great question. Do you think for 4K specifically? I'm gonna ask for 4K here. I'm gonna reset the poll now. So we got a 50-50 mix between the whole RGB side. I get it. So for everybody out there, for 4K for GTA 6, do you think it will require at least a 5080? That's my question. So do you think GTA 6 will require a 5080 at minimum for 4K? That will be the question, guys, and you can feel free to answer. And there you go. It will be at least so a 5080 at the minimum for 4K. No. Okay. Hidden Bull believes that he believes in Take Two. He believes that Rockstar will do us right. They believe that they will create the proper optimizations when it comes to it. On a budget, that's that's nearly nothing. That's what Tattoo XRP says. So, what's the price difference between the? Take a look. It depends on your region. Depends on the region you're in. So if your budget is cooked, just get the Vegas 64. Yes. Hey, I mean, I hear great things. Even the RX 580 is good, but again, you have to be willing to downgrade the monitor a little. You got to be willing to play 1080. So it's a bit of yes, no. So we got a little mix between the two. So Animal, it's going to be optimized, and if consoles can run it on a PC, can run it easily. That's a good point. I bet they will put 4K specs with DLSS and frame generation in their advertisement. Yeah, you know where it's going to be? It's going to be in that really tiny font. It's going to be in that little tiny font once they start showing it'll say, you know what it'll say? Actual gameplay footage, and then it'll say in DLSS 4.5 using super sampling and all the everything else that it's going to say in there. So it might say it like once they actually start showing the gameplay. I and so I think the play stable. So we got a 50-50 mix. We got some that don't truly believe that it's going to be optimized that well, and some people believe that it's going to be more optimized since it's Rockstar. So I think to play stable 60 frames, you need a 5080 to have max out everything. And remember, guys, this is in 4K resolution. So this isn't. I'm not asking in 1080. This is 4K resolution. So GTA question is loaded. 4K at which specs? What about the LSS? Now that's a great question. It's that I can say for certain. More than likely, I do expect that it's going to require some sort of DLSS. I guarantee you, it's going to need to take advantage of PlayStation's PSSR to take advantage of it, especially how good it looks. And it depends on how detailed the game is. Like if they manually, it all depends because did you know for anybody out there that does game here, and I know a lot of the OGs definitely know this, is that when it comes to light reflections, when it comes to anything that has to do with lighting, that can actually be manually put into the game and doesn't require ray tracing. The only thing is, it requires developers to be able to do it. They would have to manually put the lighting in themselves. Ray tracing is kind of just more of the shortcut of it, so they don't have to manually do it. It makes their job much more easier. But if they manually put the lighting, then you don't require RTX. Isn't that pretty insane? But you do require more time, and it takes more precision to get the lighting correct. So the console version will be watered down. Same thing with Pragmata. PC is master race god tier. Hey, I don't. I'm not gonna argue with that one there. I haven't done my research. Intel really are about to be the new AMD budget. They are. They absolutely are. I think to answer that, we have to know the footage in the scenes in the trailer were running in PS5 or not. Yes, I wish they would put it, but I think we'll get more indications once they start dropping trailer 3. And I gotta say, shout out to Froggy for dropping the whole the pre-order date. I'm sure you guys got to hear that, the whole pre-order date for upcoming Monday. First, the Discovery. Congratulations on his quick findings there. So, what is considered playable for 30 FPS in frame gen? That all depends on the person here. It depends on how picky you truly are when it comes to with your eye. Because obviously, when for me personally, when it comes to 30, I will pick up on it immediately. And I'm going to ask that question actually coming up next. So Rugal says really depends on what you define as minimum. If menu browsing 12 FPS, no, but actual gameplay, yes. Ray tracing. Yes. So I used to play games in the 90s. To me, anything above 10 FPS, it's funny that you mentioned that because I do remember the days when I used to struggle with Intel's. I know all of you who've gamed definitely knows this back in the day when those who didn't have a dedicated GPU, when dedicated GPUs weren't a thing just quite yet, or when they were just coming out, to be able to play these upcoming 3D titles that you would end up gaming on Intel's family graphics. Remember those words? Bro, 60 frames per second is bare floor minimum. There, I played and it looks like it's and I liked it below 10 FPS. Yeah, we got to put that in mind that the PC port version will be graphically with way more detail since hardware is not restricted as a PS5. So a 60 frames per second in a PS5 isn't the same as a 60 FPS, and that is a fair point. So laugh aloud, dude. I was 10 years old when Metal Gear Solid came on PS1. Talk. Yes, remember that? Oh man, I remember those days. I remember when I was trying to enjoy which game was I think it was like Soul Reaver. Remember Soul Reaver? And I was trying to play it on PC, but man, it was choppy, but I was enjoying every minute of it while I could. And once I got a GPU for it, once I tricked my pop into buying a GPU, man, talk about smooth. I did not know how smooth it could truly be. So I say the recommended specs on PC for GTA 6 will be 32 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 4070 Ti, AMD Radeon 6800. That's a good call here. 32 gigabytes of RAM. Wow. That's interesting. So I guess buy Voodoo for that sweet Tomb Raider time. Yes, it certainly does. So honestly, sounds like a good. Yeah, it does. I think it does. I think Takuma's on point with it. 32 gigabytes of RAM. It does sound like it's going to be necessary, especially for how large this game is going to be. So the next question that I'm going to ask here is, what is the minimum? So we have the polls pretty much put in, and it seems that you will require at least a minimum of a 5080 in order for you to play GTA 6. So here's the next question here. What is the minimum? What is the minimum you can play? You can play your PC games. So I'm going to put out here, it's going to be multiple choice, so you can feel free to put it in. Is it going to be 30, 60, or 120, or I'm going to put 144 plus, because of course after 120 I'll just put 144 plus for anybody that has more resolution than that. So go ahead and make your vote. So make your choice if which is best for you on PC. So you can choose 1, 2, 3, or 4, whichever that you're more comfortable with playing PC. So this is, I feel, a very interesting question, because when you purchase a PC, you might be looking for very certain specifications. I know we're spoiled, especially in 2026. We definitely expect a lot of PCs. So I used to play in the 90s. To me, anything above 10 FPS is playable. I love that. So EverQuest 1 with 100 people raid was terrible. Yeah. Remember how choppy things would get? It was rough. Some people have 4K 150 FPS taste streams, while at the oh man, that's funny. Hey, I mean, I get it. I do get it. So I think it's true that I like 24 gigabytes to be safe with other stuff running. So half depending on game 3 for yeah, that makes sense. So far, take a look at this. So most people will be satisfied with 60 FPS. And you know the perfect example, I have the perfect example for this. You get something like this. Now all the OGs can certainly speak up for this. How much this would be like the things you would dream of as a kid when you were back in the day, especially back in the day. It's something like this. Being able to game on something like this on the go, I mean, who would have ever thought, especially in 2026, that you can do this? This is all in the SoC. This isn't a dedicated GPU, but all on a SoC. But you can do it. It plays really well. So, Pixel, great to see you. I stream games across LAN and utility locked at 50 FPS, so no point in rendering more than that. I always keep VSync on. That's interesting. So 60, okay. So we got a lot of 60. Definitely a lot of 60. I'm surprised I haven't seen anybody over 120. So far, I haven't seen anybody over and hit 144 plus. So that's insane. So I remember in 2000s, but I become spoiled. So I know you're not supposed to, but you should be able to perceive above 30 FPS. but I can detect below 60 FPS. Yes, I can certainly agree with you. I feel like anything that's over that, I can't say that it's almost like a placebo effect, but I can say that it's almost like the game will move faster. I'd say like anything that does move above that, it's like the game moves faster, I can say. But I don't know if your eyes can truly perceive the motion, which is the argument where definitely a lot of guys on console will make with you on that. So, I mean, the Game Boy was the best thing in the world. Yes, that's what it was. Man, that all I would play is Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Red, and talk about like working my ass off trying to get all those Pokemon. And yes, exactly. That's a great call out. Yes, exactly. And that back when you actually had the link, remember the link cable that you have to actually hook up to your Game Boy in order to do this. So it depends on how far you are on the display. That's an interesting concept. That's true. Well, I was happy with 60 FPS for the longest time, but now with GPUs like the RTX 5090, I can go to the 144 mark because my TV can do it. Yes. And the crazy thing is, the newer TVs with LG that they're going to push above it. They're working on pushing on 165. That's very soon. That's coming out very soon. So I can't imagine real game size before compression. It has to be more like 500 gigabytes for GTA. I think like 150. Yes, it's going to be quite a large file because when you think about it, even Call of Duty is about 500 gigabytes. It's a large file. It might not be 500 gigabytes exactly, but it's pretty damn close. So and when I buy my 5080 setup by the end of the year, I'm going to be playing 1440p, and I know it's going to be a beefy card for the resolution, but I cap at 90. Interesting. So for anybody that's coming in or wants to answer the poll, feel free. In order for you to vote, you just hit 1, 2, 3, or 4, depending on what you believe in. Yeah, the link cable. And you can't forget that back then with Game Boys, they never had the backlight. So what you would used to have to do is you would have to plug in that light. Remember that lamp you would have to put on top of your Game Boy so that way you can see your games at night. Otherwise, you'd be pretty much screwed. So I kept mine's to keep the temperature down. The 9070 XT will run to 140 to 200 frames per second. On my favorite games capped at 84 frames per second, I can limit watts used and it's smooth on the eyes. Yes, the new OLED Gen 6 TVs can run 100. Isn't that amazing? You can do this on a TV. So yes, the lights that plug into the yes, you remember it. The ARC B5, yes, they are decent cards. You can definitely take advantage of those cards. So I would say yes, you can. The B580 is good for a lot of games. I was hoping that Intel would actually come out with even more cards, but again, we'll see due time. I certainly hope they do so. So, also my RTX 5090 working hardcore on Forza. Yeah, it's got to be incredible. The rendering has to be on point for Forza Horizon 6. And I got to ask, I'm going to throw the next question. Is this one's going to be simple. So it looks like most of us are on the 60 frame page. And for those, are you getting Horizon 6? Just out of I'm out of curiosity here. Is everybody out here planning to get Horizon 6? So you can choose 1 or 2. Oh, not that arrow. Let me fix that arrow. There we go. Are you planning to get Horizon 6? So I almost bought the early access. Like I had my mouse over to yes, I am getting it, but I'm not. It's quite insane. But a lot of people are debating on it. I know there's quite a few people that have actually ended up getting the early access for it. But there's nothing wrong with that if you're a big fan. You do have the options to get it. You don't have to get the options to get it. So, are you getting Horizon 6? But I should have threw in there like, would you be pet? You know what? You got my next question coming up in a bit here. So, of course, this is definitely PC hardware talk. So if anybody comes in and is like, what, why are they talking their games? Feel free to chime in. Feel free to ask your questions. If you want any updates, feel free to ask, and I will certainly update you. And I'm sure the chat would be happy to do the same for you. So Simply Takuma says now 2 days are away from the 4 days of early access, so it makes no sense maybe for you. Okay, so yeah, that's a good point. So again, so far we got a mixed crowd here. We have, yes, some people are getting Horizon, some people are not. It just depends. I think the game looks quite incredible. I think it looks amazing. And also for anybody that is planning to get a GPU, just to let you know, they are throwing a different game that is going to be with NVIDIA's card. In fact, if you get a NVIDIA card now, it comes with 007 First Light. You can get 007 First Light with the GPU. So if you are planning to get a new RTX 5070, it does come with 007. Now, if you go with Intel, if you get the 270K plus, which is planned to actually drop in price actually sometime soon. Let's see if it did yet. Is this? Oh, wow. Take a look at this, guys. If you don't buy this, this is a damn good deal. $260 now. And they have it in stock. And it's for Batman Legacy of Dark Knight. It comes with too. So $260. I nearly paid nearly almost not 100. I spent like almost like $70 over of what this price is now. So, but for a 270K plus, this is a really good deal. So, does it feel like game designed for a wheel, or is it? I think it's more arcade style. I think it's definitely more designed for a controller from what I've learned when it comes to something like Horizon 6. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is it designed better for a controller? That's a great question, Hidden Bull. Is the game Horizon 6 designed better for a wheel, or is it better designed for a controller, in your opinion? I know from what Sweeney said, I think Sweeney said that it's better by controls, if I'm not mistaken, because it's not like how motorsports is. But feel free to chime in. I would definitely love to know. Don't bother to buy the extra wheel for I gave up. Oh, okay. Makes sense. What's up, Bash? Great to see you. Great to see you come in. I'm doing great. I can't believe this awesome deal. It did finally drop. The 270K plus has went down to 260 if you're down near a Micro Center. So again, for anyone that is looking for it, that's a massive deal. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah, it's a great processor, man. If let's I'm curious if Micro Center actually dropped. I think I checked with them yesterday. It was still at 322. Yeah. Ugh. Oh, $5 off. Nice. So 320. Definitely Micro Center has a better deal if that's the case. I already have Sim Rig, but I understand some racing games like Need for Speed are not fun with a wheel. A controller is how it's meant to play. So yeah, I have to go to Yonkers Micro Center this week. Oh man. Hey, if you can go there, pick this up, man. It's a great deal. For a 270K plus, that is a hard deal to beat. It makes me want to do another 270K plus build. But again, you guys might not want that build. Feel free to chime in if you don't. But we definitely want to work on getting a build. And by the way, for anyone that's coming in, we got $25 raised for the Threadripper build. So feel free to super chat or donate and let me know what the donation's for if you choose to donate, as we are working on this Threadripper build. So getting back to it, we're going to go over here. We are going to go and I'm going to ask you for this poll here, which is another great one. So it seems like we're getting quite a few people that are interested. Now, what I'm going to ask is, are you willing to pay? And this is going to be a good one. Are you willing to pay $100 for GTA 6? Because this would probably definitely be the changing point if this is the case. So I would love to know everybody's thoughts of this. So would you be willing to pay $100 for GTA 6? Now, if they said that this is like no other game, it's like two games into one, would that persuade you in order to purchase GTA 6? So far, we got yes. We got no. Interesting. But yeah, I get it. I can understand why, because this is kind of like the benchmark of where we would put our pricing. Because once you pay $100 for something, every other company is going to think, well, if they can charge $100, why can't we charge $100 too? I am neutral with this question. Ah, that's interesting. Hmm. That is interesting. But I hate to call you out on this, Takuma, but you did spend, to be fair, you did spend $120 for Forza. So I gotta say, I gotta bring that up. So they will make more through microtransactions anyway. The sale price is almost irrelevant to GTA 6. Yes. Yeah, that is true. I'm struggling to answer. I will pay $85, no question. $100 is making me think. It is triple digits now. It's no longer double digits to purchase a game. So yes, as long as they add the story mode, as they barely did in GTA 5. You know, the funny thing is, I never played the whole GTA Online side of it. I've always focused on the story mode, and I beat GTA 5 at least 3 times at the minimum. And there's so much you can do too. Like I remember like one of the biggest things I would like to do in not GTA Online, on GTA 5 was to collect all the different alien pieces. And that was quite a bit. Eventually I did it. Like once I was able to collect all those alien pieces, it was pretty dope seeing that whole finding the ship, like making the ship actually appear afterwards. But it's mixed. So far we got a mixed crowd. We got 50-50 for those who are willing to get it. For a limited edition version, it's cool, but $100 is ridiculous. Video game prices are ridiculous, and paying $100 is a problem for all gamers who enjoy things other than GTA. So I never beat story mode. To me, it's just a tutorial. Really, you know, I have to play GTA Online. It makes me really curious how it's like. So yes, I spent $120 for Forza, but the content you get is far bigger than you get on the base games. An expansion 1 and 2 that is coming in the future. Interesting. So, oh, sorry for that, guys. Hit the wrong key. So, I feel that is a fair question to ask everybody out there who is curious about the willing to spend the extra money. So from some polls, some people are saying that they're willing to spend $100 for something like GTA 6, just because of they feel like they're just going to be able to make this game very immersive to the point where all you're going to want to do is play GTA 6. So I'm really curious to see how long the playability for GTA 6 will be, if it can compare to how GTA 5 truly is. Or will it just end up being like another disappointment? So the way I see, people buy $4 coffees every day. So that's $28 a week. That's $112 a month. So technically it's worth it. Interesting. That is true. Only buy games when on discount. And being a day one player sucks anyway. Yes, I can get that. And my question is, do you think GTA 6 will actually have a day one patch? Because so far, who's going to break the tiebreaker here? Because so far, it seems that people are mixed on this. People are truly mixed on whether they would want to spend the extra money on something like GTA 6. So they made us wait 12 years. Come on. I know. It's a really long time. I mean, like, you see their timelines compared to the other games. Think about PS2, when they actually had 3 games come out. They actually had GTA 3, you had GTA Vice City, then you had GTA San Andreas. And you had 3 bangers practically, and all into one system. And then they went to GTA 4 and GTA 5. And then ever since then, it's been like nothing, just silence. So back in the day when PlayStation 3 80 gigabytes versions cost $780, GTA 4 came out with $110 price tag. So try that poll again at some. Yeah, good question. Okay, so Hidden Bull makes a great point. What we're going to do is we're going to try to do this poll once again, and we're going to do at $75. So for any final bidders or final pollers out there and want to put their final vote to do the tiebreaker, it seems that so far I'll give it another minute to say, and I'll throw up that next poll. But so far we got a 50-50 mix for those who are willing to spend $100 for GTA 6. So in order for you to vote on the poll, you just put 1 or 2 and let me know what your thoughts are. Now, for anyone that's curious about hardware, the 275, I mean not 275, the 270K Plus has just dropped dramatically in price at Micro Center, so you might want to go to your closest Micro Center. Oh, Black, oh, he made the poll, so he broke the tiebreaker. So it seems that it won't happen. Nice. Oh, there you go. There you go. Perfect. So let's try this. So now, $75 now. Would you get it? Would you pay $75 for GTA 6? So Rugal says all games have day one patches now. And in the future with the half a day patch and the second half a day patch, but fortunately, companies aren't allowed to overwork their employees now. Agreed. Now 75 is more fair. I feel that it's more fair too. It's only $5 more, right? Oh, did I? Not 175. That would be kind of crazy, right? There we go. I fixed it. I fixed it, guys. Are you willing to pay $75 for GTA 6? Oh, that would be funny. $175 is definitely some. I think there would be a lot of news. There will be people out there that would spend it though for a limited edition. So for anyone that's GTA 6 day one patch 80 gigabytes, definitely possible. So anybody coming in, again, I want to share the good news for everybody out there that GTA 6 is going to be, I'm not GTA, the Intel 270K Plus is only $260 at your local Micro Center. Unfortunately, Newegg does not have the price drop just quite yet. I will definitely notify everybody once I do get the price drop, and I will post it onto Discord and to YouTube for anyone that is curious and wanting to be able to take advantage of that deal for the 270K Plus. So I would get it for $100, $75. There you go. I would still say no. Oh, wow. But it's more fair, but price increase needs to calm down. So some people do disagree with the pricing. And that's because it's going to end up setting a new standard. So Black definitely makes a perfect sense. It's the same argument from about RAM. And man, I gotta say, if one thing drops in price, then the other thing does go up in price. It makes, and you kind of see the whole, the weird thing about when it comes to the value of everything. The processor now is $260. But when you take a look at a new RAM kit, unfortunately, of course the processor drops, but the RAM goes up. So, and yes, I mean, it did go up actually. It finally did go up in pricing. If you take a look at some RAM here, that'd be a hard. Yes, I think that would be a hard no for a lot of people there. $75 is not bad, but not great either. I'll flip the coin. Okay, it's amazing. Even at a $75 pricing, you do have a 50-50 split. So you still have people that really think about it now. And it just shows you the type of, it just shows you how expensive truly everything is now. Even if you take a look at this crucial 32 gigabytes, and usually Micro Center has great deals when it comes to RAM, is now $454, where it was originally priced at $360, $370, and $400 at the most. Now you're seeing that it priced up to $55 extra. And that goes with all RAM. All RAM has actually increased in pricing. So, again, Rugal makes a good point. You would flip a coin for it. So for any takers that wants to put a vote, so we got 1. So that broke the tiebreaker so far. So we got another yes. So he flipped the coin and it said yes. Heads or tails, right? So the pricing of RAM has gone up dramatically. And one thing I got to say is this, and this is a shout out to Ricky and everybody, but RAM. That's all we hear about now. And this is the truth. Pricing has jumped up dramatically. And it just shows you, you only get a $4 savings from this RAM kit from Crucial. And usually they have the more fair pricing when it comes to RAM. So, Sakuna says, absolutely, it's good computer. I would probably choose the slightest different components. Let me respond to this. Yes, you're insane to think it's not a good PC. That's an excellent PC. That will last you quite a bit, and hardware will last a lot longer compared to what it originally did. Hardware used to be very disposable back then. It used to be to the point where a PC, a custom built PC, would maybe get you, if you're lucky, at the most 4 years, 4 to 5 years. And 5 years is really stretching it. But now PCs, you can see how much longer it's lasting. Think about the people who built a PC during the 40 series back in 20, I'd say 22. You got 23, 24, it's 4 years. That 4090 is still kicking ass today. So that just shows you how much PC hardware has certainly improved when it comes to its own value there. So again, we have a lot of yeses. It seems like yes is going to be the overwhelming majority vote here. So if you haven't put your final vote in, feel free to vote. See if you can push back the yes. But people are willing. That just shows you how much value people believe in GTA 6, that people are willing to spend $75. And even when this poll was at $100 here, people were willing to make the purchase for GTA 6 for $100. So that just tells you how much people have faith into Take-Two. So now I'm going for my very next question. This will be a good one here. Now, if they have a collector's edition, right? Actually, this is good. Instead of that, I'm going to ask this: will you purchase GTA 6 physical or digital? This is a good one because this has certainly, I think GTA 6 will finally be like that hit marker for this, because this will be a tall tale of everything. So physical, you still have physical bros out there, or the digital. So feel free to put your vote in. Would you purchase physical or digital for GTA 6? Because this is going to kind of pretty much put a focus on everything. So we got physical, interesting. What would you recommend the best motherboard recommendation be for 80% media center laser production gaming PC with the 9800 X3D or X9070? Okay, so for a motherboard like that, with something like this, you would want to get something at least like an X870E, depending on the specifications that you do have. I would say get something like the MSI Carbon. I think the Carbon would be the perfect choice for you. I would say the Carbon is not as expensive, and it's still a great motherboard. So go Carbon. Of course, you can also make the choice of going with Gigabyte's Aorus Elite is also a great option for you too. Or you can go Asus F Gaming motherboard as well. Would be a good option too. So I have a physical copy of Gran Turismo 7, but you can't play it unless you have internet. That's crazy, right? Now it's like there's a demand that you have to have internet for everything. So I have used my 4090 since launch in 2 builds, and believe me, PCs are amazing. My 2080 Ti build I gave to my nephew years back still plays max settings. And yeah, exactly. And that's the point that we have to make here, is that there is some value into PC building. That actually gives me a good idea onto the next question, because this is going to actually be like, it's going to get a little bit more serious on the next question. It's going to probably feel a little bit intense. So if you lose your account, you can't play your game, or if you want to sell it. Yes, that's a big argument that people do have. Now, I mean, what can you even put into a collector's edition of GTA? I think it'll be something like a watch. I could see them doing a GTA 6 watch, or like a collectible car, Or what else? Maybe some like extra. That's a good question. I w- maybe it's some cruise tickets, as we were speaking of earlier. When you end up purchasing stuff, now you're gonna start getting physical things like that, vacations. So yeah, no problem. Um, so far we got no. So we got a lot of digital here. We got a lot of digital here. So we got to mix of physical and digital. So the thing is, when the GTA 6 does first release, it's going to end up being on a physical and a digital choice because it's going to be on console. Now, if you have a PS5 with the optical drive, of course you can go physical. Same thing with Xbox Series X. If you have a physical drive, you can go physical as well. But do you think when it comes to the new generation of gaming, when it comes to the new generation of consoles, do you think they are truly going to have physical media? Says that's a good question. I feel really think about this because do you think that they will actually have physical disc anymore? Do you think optical disc will become obsolete? Do you think it will no longer tend to exist? Or do you think that people will still demand? Because the biggest thing that we can say, like, especially for, again, once I can say, like, especially for the OGs out there, and even some of the newer generation can agree with this, is that when it comes to a new console, one of the things that most people look for or definitely shop for is that it's the backwards compatibility. That was the largest seller when it came to consoles. But now, will backwards compatibility be a thing anymore? Especially that it goes into downloads. So really think about that. So if it's digital, you already have one in your library, just like it is on PC. But now they're not required to give you an optical disc anymore. But what about the games that you own on optical disc? What will happen then? Maybe they'll just see that you own those games and you can download it digitally. It's already happened when it came to PS5. You own the games from PS4 to PS5. You download them, but not all of them. So I might wait until it's on PC though. PS5 has only half of the required RAM to play GTA 6 and barely enough storage for yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be a bit mixed on it. I think there's gonna Take Two definitely plans on double dipping like usual, and believe it or not, they don't just double dip on PCs. What they also double dip is on consoles. And you might ask how? You know how they double dip on consoles? I guarantee you, what will happen is they are releasing November 2026, correct? So when they release this game, they are going to have it for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. Within the next year, it's going to be a PlayStation 6. There's going to be an Xbox Series Z, just say. They will release it on those consoles, like a redefined version. And there is your double dip right there. So they do double dip on consoles, and they also double dip on PC. So I have the PS5 with the drive, but the way it works is that you can't really play anything unless you pay for a Sony subscription and you have internet. So the best I can do is a retro shop with inaccurate emulation that doesn't carry console to console. Needed some fresh water there. There's going to be 10 versions of GTA. I'm gonna be an old man. Like once GTA 7 comes out for sure. It's gonna be it's gonna be like grandkids playing that game at that point. For sure. Definitely gonna be like grandkids playing GTA 7 at that point. If they continue on with this crazy charade of the length between years of coming out with new versions of GTA. And one other game that's actually outdone it, like by coming out with a release, is Elder Scroll. Elder Scroll's another one where they're supposed to come out with Elder Scrolls 6, but they announced it in 2018. But now that game might not come out till like 2030. I mean 2030 at least. Exactly. Can you imagine? You're gonna see some 70-year-old streamers, a lot of them. You're gonna see a lot of them out there. My poor GTX 1060, everything else in my PC can play GTA 6, but that GPU. That's true. Now, here's my next question is how would you feel? This will be interesting because I think this will kind of determine the way things are. And if you guys didn't see that, Xbox actually had a leak. Besides a whole name announcement, if you guys didn't hear, Xbox is now all in caps lock Xbox. So they rebranded if it's already changed. So they put a poll out there and they made sure now the type Xbox and everything, like it all caps lock. Plus, there was a kind of like a slip between a new controller that Microsoft is coming out with on Xbox, and this new controller kind of gives you a hint on what's to come next. And Sony's kind of in that same direction. And what I'm talking about is cloud gaming. So, if they move, if they move gaming to the cloud, would you stop gaming? Now, this is a very interesting question. I know it's kind of like serious because a lot of people are not really feeling that as much. And the reason why I got to ask this is because all the physical games, uh, such as this whole new controller, they're coming out with cloud controllers now. Now, first I've seen it with like a Razer. I've seen it with Logitech. They were like kind of the first ones. You have Logitech. You had Razer doing it. You also now have Microsoft doing it. You have Sony that's interested in doing it. So imagine that you don't own your system. You don't have a PC. You can play on the go. As long as if you have a decent internet. As long as if you have decent internet, you can game. So I would stop playing new games. I would still play old games. I agree. I should have restated that a bit more clear. So that is, but I do agree. I think there would be a lot more retro gamers than you would actually have of new gamers in that case. So I think a lot of people would go and play older games. Would you stop? Let me restate that. Stop gaming with new games. There you go. That should be the more appropriate question there. That makes it more clear. So again, I mostly play games made over 6 years ago. Yes. So this is a very real thing, and I'm not kidding. They are coming out with controllers where it's more focused on cloud gaming. I know it's like this whole crazy mind conspiracy about gaming on the cloud. That's where big publishers wants to push everybody, but now honestly, it doesn't seem so much as a crazy theory anymore. Price drops? No, they're not, unfortunately. They actually are more expensive. The crucial actually went up in pricing. It should the stream yes, yes it does. It does scream. I want to throw it up so you guys can hear it. But I don't know if how well you're gonna hear it if I throw it. So I wish it was dropping though in price. With storage prices, hardware prices, I can see where pre-rendered cloud gaming could have a place in the market. And I think that's where they're pushing it. If you can't afford the hardware, then you have to cloud game. So, I mean, you already see it with Nvidia. They're still very persistent on this. That you can only have 100 gigabytes a month of gaming. Just imagine that you have a limit. So it seems like a lot of people would stop playing new games. And I think I would agree too. Like if it was the case for me, I would 100% stop. Because then where's the freedom? Like where's the freedom of gaming like how it used to be? So it seems that the nice controller but looks bulky and heavy for racing is the RTX 2070, a super good GPU plus going into a 2026. Uh Minecraft, Fortnite, Counter-Strike, but I want to jump up to pro settings. I currently have a 1650. So I can't see cloud gaming with high latency. And I got a funny story to tell you guys too. I was at CES this year, right? At the Razer, one of the private Razer booths that they had, or the private Razer suite. And when I was there, Get this. They wanted to show off their new Razer controller so badly. It was called the Razer Wolverine Bluetooth, I can think it's called. Anyway, the Razer Wolverine Bluetooth, they showed it to me. Decent controller, very awesome controller. It looks neat. But the thing is, like once you start gaming, they tried to sample the game with me on the cloud. Now, once they tried to connect to me, like once I got onto the cloud and started using the controller, it started to it wasn't playing. It seemed like there was a large latency. Like it took a bit. And like when you're streaming a movie and then it starts pixelating and it was kind of like that. It started pixelating and the game wasn't very clear. And, and I was like, what's wrong with this? I was like, is everything okay? He said, yeah, usually it doesn't do this on the cloud. It usually plays a lot smoother than this. And eventually the pixels kind of cleared up and it got clearer and clearer. But the game never truly felt like you were gaming there. You know what I mean? Like, just like if the game was in front of you, if it was like on a piece of hardware, it felt like you were always gaming remote. It never felt like you were gaming online. I mean, gaming locally. So Black says, I would absolutely stop gaming with new games if that was the case for sure. I'm going to stick with modded PS5 controllers. Your mouse has been hacked. I, I want to install the Ghoulie kit. Exactly. You're going to start seeing more of that. I played some games on my computer from work using remote desktop. I know all about latency. There you go. Oh, there you go. So exactly. So you definitely have the experience of that. So again, like if you ever experience it, it's just like if you're watching something on stream, it's truly never that clear. It's never 100% clear when it comes to it. It's almost like you're watching a movie and you're watching it slowly go from 480 to 4K, so to say. So you're slowly seeing all the pixels kind of load up. And then as soon as you start getting to certain areas, you would see that latency, just like what Hidden is talking about. So all the lets that go to save, I know, right? Isn't that crazy? And that was definitely not one of the things I was looking forward to. And then of course Razer had its other showings, such as like the whole AI thing when it comes to like the Razer Project Ava, and Project Ava should be coming out sometime soon. I think they were taking orders on it at the time, but it was just like they I think it was just a $20 pre-order, but whatever the cost of Ava was going to be, that they would actually release the pricing. But I'm really curious to see how that's going to end up going with Razer. But they do, I know, still plan on this coming out. I'm surprised they haven't really talked about it much, unless I'm just missing the whole announcements. But that was something that they were really focused on. It was cloud gaming, and it was mostly cloud gaming and AI. Those were like the two focuses. And then, of course, one thing that was pretty decent from them was the seats. The seats where it actually had haptic feedback, which was pretty dope. I think that was probably definitely the best display for anyone that wanted to experience something like that. But hopefully they do come out with that. I think that would be something that most people would certainly look forward to. But again, when it comes to not haptics, when it comes to cloud gaming, I feel that most people are on the same page. They don't want to end up doing something like gaming with necessary requirements to be online. You want to be able to game when you're offline. You want to game comfortably, because that is one experience, one extra step that you don't need to take when you do game. So, getting back onto the hardware side, I know some people are probably coming into the stream like, wait, this isn't about hardware. So usually we'll talk about hardware, but I had to bring that up because it kind of does involve hardware. And because everything's so expensive now, when you take a look at it, like this Crucial's 30 Pro 32 gigabyte kit is $454 now. So probably too many people still uploading into that area at CES. I see that when I watch racing being streamed with 5,000 people at the track upload it at the same racing. Yeah. You know, It's a terrible time streaming at CES. It's not easy. I've streamed it. There's certain areas that where streaming's not too bad, and then there's areas where streaming is just terrible. Like I just stop streaming. At that point, I just manually end up filming everything instead. But of course, when CES is coming, it's which is very soon. Technically, it's only like 7 months away. Once ES comes back around, we'll see what they offer this year. Hopefully it's less AI. Hopefully it's calmed down a bit. I know everybody's getting a bit of AI fatigue because I can definitely feel it from everyone for sure too. So same at football games. When you get an Uber, the internet goes down. Yeah, it's true. Anybody that's in the same area and you got so many cell phones loaded on one tower, it's never any good. And believe it or not, when I was at TS, I had two cell phone receptions and both were just terrible. So, unfortunately, you're not able to aggregate yet on a phone, aggregate two different services. It would be nice if you can, but I did my best that I could in certain areas and it was still terrible. I just cannot get them excuse me, I could not get the main hall pretty much streamed, which was kind of sad. But anyway, speaking of the hardware side, if you are looking to get a PC, it's definitely better to go with these bundled deals, and you would certainly save the most. And now the bundles have certainly changed. We're going to look at the Intel bundle, for example. You can get a 270K plus with a Gigabyte Z890, and this is without the RAM. They're doing the whole without the RAM again. And you can get it with the RAM for 600. So you can see that it slowly has changed back to something like this. Now all bundles are limited to one person now. They clearly put that up there for everybody out there to know that you cannot just buy multiple kits. So many streamers have gone to Uncle Elon's magic box to skip. It's expensive though. But it would be such a pain to carry. I also thought about doing something else, where you could put SIM card. Practically, you have to get services from all the providers, and then it just wouldn't be worth it. I feel like it wouldn't be worth doing unless I was able to meet that type of income requirement, which is like it's $400 a month, and then you have to get this box, which costs like $2,000, and it actually aggregates all the mobile networks together. But again, it's expensive, and the whole Starlink thing, I feel like I don't know how well it will work, especially because you're inside of hotel suites. Um, that does make me curious. I would uh, look into it if it's proven to show that it's decent reception wise. So, do you think that Intel is selling the 270K at reduced profit in order to become relevant again? It's a good question. Very possible. And I think they did really good. I think the 270K plus, it's a shame it's not being shown as much as it is. I think it's a great processor. And for people who don't want to spend so much money on an AMD processor, this is definitely the way to go. I feel that Intel is certainly trying its best to be relevant, and I think they're doing everything to show marketing wise. I think they will end up upholding if because right now they're all focused on the AI race, which is obvious. They're all fighting to be onto the top. And Intel can use this as an advantage. AMD can use this as even as an advantage against like Nvidia when it comes to GPUs. It's just on their decision making. They're looking at the whole AI race as if as long as if we hit the top three, then we're okay. That's how they look at it. What's up, Gas Out? I'm glad. I'm glad you had a great weekend so far. That's awesome. Glad to hear that you're doing well. Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is a great deal. You get Lego Batman with it too. Hell, I mean, like even I'm tempted to get a kit like this. All I would have to get is get the GPU for this and do another build. It's really tempting. I mean, it's a great deal. Uh so Fan Man guys, I am just about to hop off and grab some wonderful breakfast. Of course, I'm going to finish up doing this review on the Steam controller. Definitely excited to share that with you guys. If Intel released 270K ahead of it, I think so too. Yeah. And apparently they have this whole thing, which I will talk about in a bit, which is the 290K and the reason why they shut that project down, which is kind of interesting. Um, I'll probably make a video on that too. But fam guys, I thank everybody for coming into the stream. Thank you all for coming in. I do certainly 100% appreciate all of you guys. You know, hey, everybody bought that 285 5K at the time. I almost bought it, but you didn't know mistakes. It happened. It's still a great processor though. But fam guys, thank you once again for all coming in. I do appreciate all of you. Make sure to keep your eyes open for the upcoming stream. I'm not stream, well, stream maybe too, but upcoming video of the Steam controller, which will come out as soon for the members today and will be out to the public for everyone tomorrow. So I'm glad that you are learning something new into these wonderful streams. Hopefully you guys are more influenced into building PCs. It's not that bad. Things will get better. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. Don't worry, we'll make it. Yes, I am heading out. So I thank Z-Man. I thank Hidden Bull. I always thank Anellis. I gotta thank Hidden Bull for being such a big part of the show. I do thank Gas Out for checking in. Ground Game, Black, Squeeze, Rugal. I gotta thank Takuma, Wasabi, Bash, and of course, Black. I gotta thank all of you guys for being part of this wonderful stream. No, it's okay. Hey, you gotta work. Nothing you can do. And so far, guys, we got $25 raised for the Threadripper build. And for the hell of it, I'm going to throw $100 in there. So we got $125 for the Threadripper build. And hopefully we can get this build together. So we got $125 for this Threadripper build then. So yeah, I appreciate all of you. Thanks again. And hopefully I catch you on the next show. Oh, I know. This is all thanks to Gas Out. Gas Out's idea. Gas Out's idea for the Threadripper build. Thank you guys for coming in and take care.